there are some clear recognitions of the urban scenario in India which have led to the government of India following this kind of ambitious program. To start with, of course, is the fact that cities are contributing close to about 63-64% of the GDP of the country. And there seems to be a clear correlation between levels of urbanization and per capita incomes. Less urbanized states, such as Bihar in India, which is about 10% urban, has a GSDP of about 10,000 rupees, whereas highly urbanized states such as Goa, which is about 60% urban, has 6 times that. So there seems to be a clear correlation there. However, Indian cities, about 4,041 cities, are very poorly planned. Only about 5% of those cities even have old-style master plans. So let alone having any kind of more sophisticated planning efforts, they don't even have the old-style land use planning available. Municipal finance is very weak, and that's an important factor for us to take into account. There is a over-dependence on grants from central and state governments. Elected leadership is not available. Only a few states have devolved functions such as planning and management functions and land use functions to municipalities. So that's an enormous problem that we need to deal with. And this is despite the existence of a constitutional amendment. But given the fact that the states have the control, so to speak, of the urban sector, it is up to the states to adopt this constitution in its full letter and spirit. And many of the states haven't. And in terms of leadership, we have few elected mayors, and many of whom have terms as ridiculously short as 18 months. So obviously, leadership at the local urban level is a big problem. What we are also finding, of course, as my colleague Shubha Thakur mentioned, are chronic shortages of infrastructure. So water and sanitation is one huge problem. Housing for the poor is a huge gap. 96% of the housing demand in the country is for small units, which are usually targeted at what are called the economically weaker sections. And so our entire housing supply side has really concentrated on a segment in the market where actually the demand doesn't really exist. And so we have a kind of glut in terms of vacant units in the housing market.